Welcome back to Colster's Corner. It's October. Teachers are tired. At this point, we're about a quarter into the school year, so you're beginning to become exposed to different bugs the students are bringing in. There's a number of things that can pull you out of class and cause you to miss school. And sometimes that's as simple as a mental health day. And I'm actually going to do a video about mental health days and how occasionally you should take them so that you don't burn out. But for the moment, let's talk about the things you can do to set your substitute up for success. If you do a good job of setting your substitute up for success, you can make it so that you've almost not missed the school day and you've not fallen behind on the amount of work that you're supposed to be doing at this point. So it's a partnership between you and the substitute. I also have a unique perspective on substitutes because I'm married to one of the very best, most popular substitutes in our school. As a matter of fact, over the years, 4 students have selected her as their favorite adult on campus and listed her as the teacher who made the largest impact on their lives. So she gives me a unique perspective on this. All right, so let's get down to it. Here's the checklist. These are the things you're going to want to do if you know you're going to be out or if you have a sudden absence. Inform the school you will be absent. Obviously, if you know that in advance, give them as much time in advance as possible. Fill out the appropriate paperwork and take it from there. If you don't know and you get ill the night before, and that does happen, there's usually a number to call or somebody to email. So I'm going to check that off. Inform the school you'll be absent. Check. Lesson plans. You want to make it a regular habit of placing your lesson plans somewhere they're very conspicuous and easily found so that if you're out, the substitute knows what they are. As a matter of fact, with mine, I post them online. I have them printed out on my desk, and my next door neighbor knows where they are so that if I'm out, she knows exactly what we should be doing. If you know in advance you're going to be out, I also typically will write what the lesson is on the board so it's very conspicuous for the students, and I'll discuss it the day before so that they know what they're supposed to be doing. So lesson plans want to make sure they're visible and easy to follow. Check. Directions on the board. Again, if I know I'm going to be out, I'll put the directions on the board and I will discuss it with the students ahead of time. Seating chart. You want to make your seating chart easily visible. And if you really want to go all out and have a great relationship with your subs, if you have any way you can show pictures in your seating chart, that's also a huge win because our students like to play games sometimes and switch names and stuff. So seating charts definitely need it so that the substitute knows where they're supposed to be, the students are supposed to be placed, and that is useful information. Roster for attendance. If you can, print out a roster of attendance. I would do that on day one so that if you have an unexpected absence, the substitute can use the what I would call emergency roster so that they can use that for attendance the day you're out. If I know I'm going to be out ahead of time, I will actually print my phone number. I'll write a note to the substitute and say, hey, I will be reachable between 8:30 and 12:30 or whatever times I'm available. Call me if you have an emergency, and that can include if you have a student misbehaving, and then put them on the phone and I can talk to them right there. So phone number, check. I like to empower my substitutes. Typically, if I know I'm going to be out, I like to show a movie, something related to the curriculum. And if you're worried your students are going to just be on their cell phones, not pay attention to the movie, you can always give them a little quiz when you get back. I'm not a big believer in handing out worksheets during the movie because I know when I was a student, I hated filling out those worksheets because I was missing out on things I wanted to see. So again, personally, I like to show a movie that's related to the curriculum. Again, I teach AP Environmental Science, so I will show something like Crocodile Hunter or Trials of Life or something directly related to the content that we're covering at the time. But I also like to leave an alternative assignment so that if the students are misbehaving, the substitute can give them an alternative assignment that forces them to do something besides being on their cell phones. Example, I might leave a couple of writing prompts and say, my choice is that you watch the movie, but if you guys are screwing around and not doing what you're supposed to be doing, the substitute can stop the movie and give you these 2 writing prompts so that that's what you're assignment will be changed to. So I like to empower my substitutes. Check. Stack of referrals, especially if you have a class that is typically chaotic or misbehaves a lot. Your substitute needs to be able to handle them. So leave some referrals behind. Check and put them somewhere visible. Who to go to for help? Phone numbers. If there's a technology issue or some other issue, leave a list of phone numbers behind for the substitute to contact if they can't get a hold of you. Check. Alert your neighbor to check in. If I know I'm going to be out, I will ask my next door neighbor to occasionally check in and make sure the students are not misbehaving, make sure they're behaving. And again, you have an actual teacher on campus who can address any problems that need to be addressed. Check. Directions to any technology equipment, specifically like if I'm showing a movie, they need to be able to operate the projector and the VCR and make sure everything's connected correctly. Check. When you return, there need to be consequences for misbehavior. I always tell students that if you get in trouble with the substitute, that's worse than if you get in trouble with me, specifically if it's my wife. Because if it's my wife, I'm going to be very irritated because I'm going to hear about it from her. I'm going to hear about it when I get to school, and there are going to be consequences. So make sure you follow up on consequences for students who don't behave. Check. Possibly, if you want students to be on their best behavior, I know some teachers that will reward their best class and have the substitute choose who the best class is, and then they reward them with something like candy or some other extrinsic reward to help keep them on task. Check. And once you identify some substitutes, I've got 3 or 4 that I like to use. Obviously, my wife is number 1, but I've got 3 or 4 others that are my go-tos if she's not available. When you identify talented substitutes, you definitely want to use them again and again because you develop a relationship where they understand the culture of your class, they know where your stuff is, and things get done so that when you miss a day, the students are still advancing through the curriculum. All right, well, thanks for your time. I hope you guys are having a great school year. Hopefully this video has been helpful to you and reminded you of some things that you need to do. And if you're new to teaching, don't be afraid to take a mental health day here and there. Colster out.